Hello and welcome to the PvE-Gamer. Today we are speculating on Flesh and Blood PvE, and as always we are hoping for a full cooperative mode, hopefully to be announced this year. And today we're looking at Guardians, but not this guy from the White North Oldhim. We are looking at Yoji, the Royal Protector. And Yoji is very interesting as currently for competitive PvP he doesn't have many use cases because his ability says once per turn instant pitch 3. The next time another target hero would be dealt damage this turn, instead that damage is dealt to Yoji and prevent one of that damage. So in a PvP setting this doesn't make too much sense, but when we look at the PvE setting in UPF, you could make use of this to protect other people, but in a full cooperative PvE setting this is suddenly a very good ability to protect your damage dealers. So in a classic setup for a role-playing game you would have a tank, a mage, or another damage dealer. Like a rogue you would have a healer, and Yoji would definitely fulfill the role of a tank, being the Royal Protector and the only hero who's truly capable of mitigating the damage that is dealt to other heroes. So as you can see, we cannot force other people to attack Yoji, so we will not be able to use defense, reaction, or just use plain blocks, but instead we need something that can prevent damage once it is dealt. And for that we have a couple of options. For example, we have the Blessing of Serenity. The next time your hero would be dealt combat damage this turn, prevent 1 damage that source would deal. It's an instant, but it isn't very cost effective even in a PvE scenario where you draw a lot of extra cards and aren't so tight on deck building restrictions. This is a bit hard to justify to fit it into your deck, but fortunately there are other very good options. For example, we have Steadfast from Everfest. This prevents the next 6 damage that would be dealt to your hero this turn by a source of your choice. So you can redirect the damage to your hero and then prevent 7 damage in total, 1 with Yoji's ability and 6 with Steadfast. That's almost half of your Kano's life if he's in your party. Then there are other classic options like Arina's Prayer, and this is massively underrated for its image. Beautiful art by Reza Afshar. Glass stained windows, and when you play this card it costs 1. You reveal the top card of your deck, prevent the next X arcane damage that would be dealt to your hero this turn, where X is 6 minus the pitch value of the card revealed this way. We don't see this card very often currently because it would be a specific sideboard card against wizards, but in a PvE setting, when you know you're going up against a lot of magic damage, you could justify to include this. Then again, in Guardian it's not that optimal because you want to play a lot of blues, and this goes against revealing the pitch cost of the next card. Enchanting Melody, on the other hand, could work very well, especially if there is a strategy that surfaces that uses auras. We have, for example, if your hero would be dealt damage, instead destroy Enchanting Melody and prevent 4 damage that source would deal. At the beginning of your end phase, destroy Enchanting Melody unless you have played a non-attack action card this turn, so it will stay for sure at the turn you play it. And then once it is in play, you can make best use of it by redirecting the damage to yourself and preventing it if the scenario allows that. Uprising brought us a new card, a Sigil of Protection. It has Ward 4, Ward 3 and ward 2. So if your hero would be dealt damage, prevent 4 of that damage and destroy Sigil of Protection. And at the beginning of your action phase, destroy Sigil of Protection, but chances are good it will not survive. You will almost certainly be able to trigger this when redirecting damage to yourself. A classic already played in many PvP scenarios is Oasis Respite. So we prevent the next 4 damage that would be dealt to target hero this turn by a source of your choice. If they have less life than each other hero, they may gain 1, so very effective. And you can play this to full effect with Yoji because you decide on when to play this and you will be the one taking damage. A very interesting pick and rather unusual pick might be the Amulet of Haven Call. And this costs 0 and is a blue, so it fits very nicely into your deck. It doesn't have a defense value, but it has Go Again as a generic item. You can just leave it on the board. And defense reaction, destroy Amulet of Haven Call, search your deck for a card named Rally the Rearguard, add it to this chain link as a defending card, then shuffle. Activate this ability only if you have no cards in hand. So if we have a PvE scenario and let's say it's my turn as Guardian, I use the cards I drew to pitch for Yoji's ability, and I have no cards left until it is my turn because I'm a full defensive player and I'm just trying to prevent as much damage as possible with the cards I have in my hand on the other player's turn. Then I can destroy this Amulet of Haven Call and search for a Rally the Rearguard, which I then add to the chain link as a defending card, but it doesn't say that it has to be my personal chain link. So if another hero gets attacked, and we can add defending cards to the chain link, this might be able to protect other heroes. Finally, not straightly damage prevention, but a card that might get very interesting in PvE. Never Yield. At the start of your turn, destroy Never Yield. Then, if you have no cards in hand, again, if you have no cards in hand, this goes well with the Amulet of Haven Call idea and with the idea that you use your cards on the other hero's turn to protect them. Draw a card, so you have a 1 card hand. This might be very useful for arsenaling, for creating a seismic surge, for casting a Promise of Plenty or something. And if you have less life than all other heroes, you even gain 2 life. And if you control less equipment than all other heroes, perhaps you destroyed something for blocking already, remove a -1 counter from an equipment you control. So much value inside a single card, and this could be a very good strategy or a very fitting card in a PvE setting. So that's all for today for Yoji the Royal Protector. Watch out for this, guys. Perhaps secure a Rainbow Foil copy for yourself or even a cold foil. At the moment they are rather cheap. This guy could be one of the top contenders for PvE.